What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Late Night Lego. I'm your host, Drew, and we have a special guest. Shy time is my time, baby. So before we dive into Shy, sorry, I didn't know if you're about to say hi there.
No, I'm good.
You can currently find these episodes on YouTube and Spotify. Thankfully, finally figured that out. But yeah, so Shy, who are you?
Wow, it's funny to get the other end of that question.
I
But
bet, dude.
I guess if you would, I guess put a definition to who I am as far as this space goes, I'm just another Lego YouTuber,
Sure.
primarily focused on like the military side. For a bit, kind of dove into like the castle side, but realistically, I'm just Shy. That's in a nutshell, I
Sure.
guess.
Sure. Very cool.
But yeah, I don't like. How far do you want to go back into this? Because man, I can go on forever.
Dude, I mean, let's just dive in. This is like, the real deal. This is live, no cut. This is you, man.
All right. I mean, so I started the YouTube stuff like I don't know. I guess like not seriously back in like 2018, 19 era. Like it was more like just vlogging. Oh, there's my kids are screaming in the background. But like it was more like just me throwing vlogs with me and my family. Kind of centered a little bit about Lego. I mean, I was more of a lurker in the Lego community for a long time. Like I didn't really participate, I guess. But now my dog's barking. Sorry.
No, dude, you're good. You're good.
Doing this at a very prime time here in Los Angeles. But I was always into Lego, right? So I had a huge dark age. I started collecting Lego as like I guess like when in 92. My mom's friend gave me like a hand-me-down. So it was like the Black Knight's Castle. It's like my first Lego set. I didn't buy it. My mom didn't buy it. It was just given to me. And since then I was hooked. Like I collected mainly Castle Town, and my favorite theme at the time was Western. And then I went into like middle school, so I kind of slowed down a little bit. I got a little bit into Pokemon cards, and then I bought sets here or there, like the first era of like Star Wars, and then high school, and that was it.
Yeah,
and it wasn't really that like I stopped, buying Lego, and I put my Lego away or anything like that. I had a town, but sorry,
no, dude, you're good. You're golden.
But like I had a town, but I just didn't actively buy anything. Like I was more involved in school and extracurricular activities. I wasn't ashamed of my Lego fandom. Like my wife, back then friends / later on in life girlfriend. She's seen my Lego collection, before we grew up. So she had no problem with it. So it wasn't until like I kind of went to adulthood. I kind of when I moved out of my house, I put all my stuff in storage. I joined the Marine Corps, and then when I went to Iraq, I had all my stuff just put away. Like it wasn't at my mom's house. It was just in the storage unit. And this is back in like 2004, 2005, 2006, when like you have to physically send a check in the mail or give it to them. There wasn't like automatic payments that came out of your bank account. At least with the company that I did it, that I gave my trust in my stuff to. So at the end of my tour in Iraq, I kind of like I left my mom checks, and she kind of like forgot to pay one, and they were trying to contact me, and they couldn't get a hold of me because I was in another country on the other side of the world without a cell phone. So I came back to it, and it was gone. All of it, and it was like my Lego collection. I was painting and playing Warhammer 40K. If you're if you know what that is. I had a lot of my instruments in there, but the instruments were really expensive. Like I had a 120-year-old violin.
Wow.
It was really, really expensive. Like things that are not really easily replaceable, but what I was more upset about is that I lost like my yearbooks, like photos, all my childhood stuff that was all in there. And like, I literally just asked, I'm like, can I just get that stuff back?
Yeah.
Whatever. Can I just get that? And they're like, sorry, no. And I just let them have it.
Oh,
I
dude.
guilt tripped them. I was like, I was fighting. This is like back when everybody was patriotic. So I was like letting them have it. And then they just felt like crap, and I just kind of walked away, and
Yeah.
I never touched a Lego set for like over a decade afterwards.
Oh man.
I would occasionally walk by the Lego store. I remember seeing the Cafe Corner,
Yeah.
Greengrocer, and OG Lego sets like in the glass window. I just never like jumped the gun. And it wasn't until like my son was born and I used him as an excuse to buy a Lego set. Like he wasn't even old enough to even put two bricks together. Like I went in there and I bought a Sell Me Square and and the Parisian restaurant, and
Yeah.
that was it. Like I'm like, I'm gonna build this with my son. My son's like 1 year old. He's not gonna do it like that. Like, but that was a beginning of the snowball. So after that, I started getting into like what is all this. I
Yeah.
started looking up every single modular building, and I was dumb. Like I like went on what I buy on Amazon and started getting retired Lego modular sets, which was really at the time was expensive, but in comparison to what the prices are for those sets now, not so bad. Like I
Yeah.
was spending like good $300-400 on like Fire Brigade or something like that.
Right.
But I eventually became privy to Bricklink, and I was kind of being smart on eBay, and I eventually got almost all of them. And to this day, oh, actually, spoiler alert, do have all of them. So I recently obtained Market Street. So
Nice.
yeah, so I for a long time I was just like, I was new to the hobby, and like I wanted to be involved in what the overall Lego community is, because how I found about Bricklink was through YouTube.
Yeah.
I was looking up Lego cities, and I found like Mr. Bookie Boo. I think he was one of the first city builders, and I kind of just went down a rabbit hole, found M&R, Brickatech, like Just Too Good, obviously Jing Bricks. So like I was like, I was kind of like just in their chats a little bit. This is when like a lot of live streaming was happening with
Right.
no focus. It was just Hangouts. It was
Yeah.
Google Hangouts. So I was just kind of lurking in the chats a lot. And it wasn't until like Brickatech, because I was a big fan of him, Greg, he said, start a channel. Like, and
Yeah.
just start one, see what happens. And I did. And then here I am today.
Yeah, right. So was that like during like COVID time or like a little bit before?
Starting the channel was prior COVID.
Okay.
But again, it wasn't serious. I was like literally just throwing, vlogs there every now and then. I'd do like a mediocre review. I mean, please don't go back to the older videos; they're horrid. I didn't really take it seriously until like COVID times, like halfway through COVID
Yeah.
times. That's when I
Gotcha.
started like really paying attention to what works, what makes a video good, like that type of stuff.
Right.
And then trying to find like my voice within the community. That's
Mm.
a really hard part. Is like, how do you stand out amongst this mass group of people who love who want to share their love for the hobby as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of found that through like Brickmania and stuff like that. That's how I
Gotcha.
started. That's how I started to come around with being. I mean, it made sense. Like I'm a veteran.
Mhm.
Do the Brickmania stuff.
Right.
It's easier.
Yeah.
But it became too expensive, so I kind of ventured out and did other things as well.
No, I feel you. I feel it. So before we dive into like finding your voice in the community, because I think that was a great question. We were talking a little bit about that
Mhm.
before we started. I just want to say hi to the viewers in the chat. We got Philster 487. What's up, man? My two credits. What's up, bro?
Yo,
And Danielle and Nathan.
hey,
What's
how's it
up,
going?
guys? The Brick Belayers. Those guys are pretty sweet.
Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah, they're really cool. I think they're gonna be on tomorrow night on the show.
Oh,
So I'm very
nice.
excited. So, but yeah, so that's for the Spotify listeners. If you come and watch live, you guys can interact with us. You guys can ask us questions, and when we find time in the conversation, we will throw up them on the screen and answer them. But so let's dive back into finding your voice in the community, because I think that's a great question and like something to really like think about, because I think a lot of creators forget about that. They instantly focus on the views, because like I remember when I first started, like, and I've talked about this a couple of times on the show already, like I was like looking at my phone in the middle of movie theaters, like how many views did I get, how many views did I get, instead of like, what is my voice saying, what am I putting out there, how am I showing myself and what I do and entering that community. Then like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, standing out is hard in anything, right? Especially if the hobby or the community that you have has already been established for a very long time.
Mm.
Let alone like putting yourself out there, like no matter what you're doing, whether it be on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, like you're putting yourself out there. And there's a
Yeah.
level of like, barriers that you can put up, but ultimately your privacy is limited in some aspects, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
things that you say can have consequences.
Yeah.
So you really have to really nowadays pay attention to what you're doing, and not saying that you should say some outlandish things, but like you need to say stuff that kind of resonate with people. And to me, a community can be any number of sizes, right? It could be like
Yeah.
5 people that always hang around, or it could be 20,000 people that show up every now and then. That makes
Yeah.
sense. And ultimately, it's the kind of community that you want to like grow. It determines the kind of content that you make. So
Right.
you can do the whole meta thing with the slash thumbnail and like the hyper edited videos and flashy stuff all over the place, and you'll get views,
Yeah.
but they're going to be all kids. And
Yeah.
will those kids hang around for the next 3 years? I don't know. Or you could slow it down a little bit and like, really, really like harp in people that really want to listen to what you have to say. And those people will
Mm.
stay around for the longevity of your channel. So
Yeah.
figuring that out took me a minute. And I'm not saying that I'm a big YouTuber in any sense, or if I'm succeeding in that. I'm just enjoying my time here.
Sure. Well, I think I could speak for. I think you are succeeding. You've done pretty great,
I
man.
mean, my growth is slow. It's steady. Like I'm
Yeah.
happy for people who really care about what I have to say.
Mm.
But I feel like a lot of that really came about when we created Cali Brick Click. So
Yeah.
Claire the Plastic Architect, Ninja, and myself. So after
Yeah.
that, once we created like a home base of conversation, that's when we started finding the core audiences of each other's channels, and then the
Mhm.
overall Lego community that's interested to what we have to say about content creation within Lego space and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So but that wasn't an overnight thing either. Like the first 9 episodes, we didn't have a guest, and we were talking about like really political things that were going around and like habits within the Lego hobby that are questionable and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When we started getting guests, that was when we kind of figured out what we wanted to talk about. So highlighting the
Mm.
guest, and then getting into content creation about each person, so that way we can learn something. And it still took us a minute to find like a good rhythm. Like we were talking nonsense the entire time, and then like Ryan was like, "They should just cut that out and just go straight to the point." I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. We should."
Mm.
So we just cut all that out. We put it on its own channel. We used to like throw it. We used to bounce it around between each one of our channels.
Yeah.
But we threw it on its own channel, and it's just started growing its own notoriety. And the best part about it would be, like in a convention or something like that, right? You just have some random person come up to you and be like, "Hey, dude, I love Cali Brick Click." I'm like, "Oh, what about my channel?"
Yeah.
They're like, "No, I really love Cali Brickley. I look forward to it every week," or whatever. And then I'm like, "Yeah, what's your handle?" Maybe I saw that we can recognize you in the comments. Like, "Oh, I don't comment." And I'm like, and I
Mm.
forget that sometimes. Like, you can have, although Cali Bricklick episodes, and even my new one now was Sitting on a Stoop, like they don't garnish thousands of views per video, like, or per
Yeah.
episode. They garnish like anywhere between 5 to 1,500 per episode at least, or
Yeah.
somewhere in between, depending on what we're talking about, and who comes on. But I always see it as, let's say it's only 500 people listening into that entire episode. That's 500 people listening from front to back.
Yeah.
So imagine you being in an auditorium with 500 people listening to what you have to say,
Right.
versus 20,000 people, coming in, they sit down and then they listen for 5 minutes and they get up and walk away. Like, which one would you like want to be your audience when you're having a conversation in the public?
Yeah.
Right? You want everyone that's coming in to actually sit down throughout the entire thing.
Right.
So I look at it that way, and when you get the feedback with people in person, it's so worth it. And I loved Cali Brick Click. Like I loved
Yeah.
it. That's why I kind of continued it with sitting on a stoop. So, although I can't do that one weekly just because of the variables I decided to implement on that thing,
Yeah.
which is like in person, I don't take it for granted. So,
Yeah.
again, like it takes a while to find your voice, but the main thing is like having people trust you is like
Yeah.
another one.
Definitely. So, do you remember like which convention like more and more people like came up to you and like it was just like, and maybe not like overwhelming, but like, whoa, like, hey, like we're making headway. We are moving somewhere.
Oh, I mean, I guess Brick World Chicago's would both be that.
Yeah.
Last year and the year before. I think the year before, although it was it was kind of in its infancy, like it was still noticed. So,
Yeah.
people come up to you and be like, hey, are you, it was more like a question mark, like, are you shy? So
Yeah.
I'm like, yes. Um,
Maybe. Who's asking?
yeah, maybe. And that would go in the same way, like in the Lego store, like, as we progress, like I get that a little bit of that sometimes, like question mark, are you shy? Time is my time.
Yeah.
Now like if they come up to me, they know it's me. So it
Right.
took a little bit of getting from one place to another. Like last year, I lost my voice Thursday. And
Yeah.
if you look at any videos that I collaborated with, for my mock or just me being around, my voice was gone. It was horrid. And even the video that I posted afterwards, my voice was gone. Like I had a hard time. That's how much I was conversing with people.
Yeah.
And you try to give everybody who comes up to you your time. So like I didn't hold back. So I think last year it was more noticeable, I guess,
Mhm.
with Brickworld Chicago. And I hope, are you going to this year?
Dude, I'm planning on going to Chicago and Virginia.
Oh
And
wow.
so
Two big ones.
I hope to go to
Gene.
yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, we'll take a little quick break. We got some more. Let's see. Art Garcia, what's up, man?
That's one of my brothers
Uh
in Motorcycle Club.
oh heck yeah, heck yeah. We got the 500. uh, Space Time Brick Studios. I was on the Hive stream on last Friday, and so I got to meet him for the first time. What's up, man? How's it going? Danielle and Nathan, it's hard to be unique in this community. It can be. I think. Well, I don't know. Do you want to go first on this one, or do you want
I
me
don't know.
to?
Like every time I see that name, I think of the last trendy video they did with the dancing and the lights.
Oh
I
yeah,
watched that video like 20 times because I love that trend. I'm not really
right?
into trendy stuff when I watch TikToks and reels, but I watched that one for a while. That's like my favorite thing that's going around.
Yeah,
But the Rebel one was fun, or Star Wars one was fun.
yeah,
But yeah, like hey Gene, yeah, like finding a voice is hard. Like again, I've kind of touched on it like a little bit, but it just takes practice, right? And then if
yeah,
you can't for a while in the beginning, you're throwing stuff at the wall and and you look at what sticks.
yeah. Literally.
So and at that point you kind of figure out which way you want to go with stuff. Like one of the things that I do, at least for short form content, right?
Mhm.
And I'm not really strategic at it, but like when I do short form content like shorts or reels and even TikToks, I guess, like the whole thing is a question to gear conversation. Like I
Yeah.
don't care what you say. I just let you just go at it. Like the last one I did was the military one, right?
Mhm.
Do you care if Lego does Lego military? And if you do you care if Lego does it, or if you want to leave these other third party Lego companies do? Do I really care what your answer is? Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But like I just want to see what people decide to put in the comments.
Yeah.
And
Right.
it's just,
Right.
and you kind of, you'll find a little bit of an audience that way, but the main thing there though is just that that I don't want that to be my voice, but like I do get a sense of like dopamine
Yeah.
when people are like responding and like literally telling their life stories or getting upset. I'm like,
Yeah.
so in the end, like I do get growth from that. And
Mhm.
it kind of translates to like my own actual videos, which I put my heart into, and I really
Right.
like love doing because I love making videos. That was like that was always a thing that I also didn't mention until like right now. But like back then, like back in high school, early
Yeah.
2000s, like I would record on like a VHS tape, record like on a camera like on a video camera. It was bad, but I still made it work. And it wasn't until I got like a laptop computer, like in like 2005 when I was in Iraq. Like I started editing videos, and some of those videos like got pretty big, and then YouTube like literally blocked them all off. So I had to restart from scratch. So long story short, I like making videos, and when I started taking it more seriously, that's when I like tried to find something out of this. And right now I feel like I'm still defining my voice. Like I feel like I have a good loyalty from like the military side, the veteran side of the Lego community. I know, we don't really have a voice within Lego because Lego doesn't acknowledge the veteran community. I've pretty much got that from many Lego, people. Like that's not something they want to entertain a lot, and I get it. I'm not like I'm not ignorant to the fact to why, but I try to be a voice out there to be like, hey, don't forget about us too. We have problems and mental issues that Lego helps us with. Please. But and that goes back to the whole military question that I put on my latest reel, is just to see how Lego fans would react to a nod to the military side, right? The veteran community within Lego, because it's not really there at all. It's done by a third party, and like for example, Brickmania made a M777. It's a cannon for me, like of me and my unit. Like that, like made me cry. Like I have a cannon with my unit's name on the cannon, and they made me into a minifigure. Like the reel before the last one, it was it was a Veterans Day video, and it was more like an homage to us, like my battery, like going over there, because although my unit's old, right, with our unit, my unit's been around since World War II. Like the ones that deployed together, like we have our own little bubble type of camaraderie versus like later on in life when we get new people in, or before when people left, if that makes sense. So our own little niche of 2009 Marines within our battery, we are like close. So when one of us passes, we at least try to get there, or we check on each other if we don't see each other on social media. That's a big one. We really do pay attention to what we do on social media. So if like one of us disappears all of a sudden, or if we see a downward trend on how they're behaving, you best believe we're gonna check on you, because we've already lost a few. To us not doing our due diligence, if that makes sense. So to have that I'm pointing at it like you can see it, you can't see it, but the M777, the 7-ton truck, and myself in that video with with all my guys flipping through it hit a spot. And a lot of I saw a lot of my battery for the Marine Corps birthday and Veterans Day this past weekend, and a lot of them really like they reached out. They're like, you're right, we need to hang out. We can't wait till one of us dies again for us to hang out. Because that's usually the case, and we keep saying it every time there's another funeral. Like, dude, we need to stop meeting like this. Like, this is not cool. We need to hang out. Like, and that's what happens with like friend groups as you get older. Like, people just drift apart, and it kind of sucks. But I kind of went on a huge tangent right there.
No, it's great, man. That's what the show's about, man. Like there is structure, you could say, but this is like getting down to the core, just going with what we're feeling, man. That's what I live for, man. Having a full on real conversation. It's like, I mean, this is kind of a tangent, but it's like, I think I've said this once or twice already in previous episodes, but like, this is like the first time, like, we get to actually share Lego rooms, technically, like virtually though. Like, but growing up, like you'd have your friend come over and you'd be in your Lego room. But this is like two Lego rooms coming together, and especially adults who like can have a real conversation besides like creating lore with your minifigures, as a kid. Like, this is what I've been like striving for, digging for, and like wanting for. And like, this is something that like in the community, like some people may have never thought would ever happen or ever see. And just, it's like going to a coffee shop, but it's surrounded by Legos. And that's what I love, man. That's what I live for.
Have you been into someone else's room yet?
Dude, not in this kind of setting. So, okay. Like, like Brickmaster Harry.
Yeah.
So shout out to him. Him and I grew up in like the same town. We went to the same.
Yeah, he's local. He's south.
Yeah, yeah. And so like his sister and my sister and him are like same class, same everything. And so I met him through that.
Okay.
And we had no idea we liked Lego together until he started posting on his main account. I'm like, dude, you like Lego? He's like, yeah. And he was building Kashyyyk at that time. I'm like, dude, I'm building Kashyyyk at this time. And we just shot our things back. And he's like, no way. And it's like, we never went over because I moved to Tennessee after that. But like, it's those kind of things. And then I met some people in college. So we had dorm room, Lego rooms, kind of thing and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I've actually never been in someone else's Lego room besides when I was like a little kid and we had our Lego rooms, you could say. And so I'm hoping to at some point, maybe like at one of the conventions, like we all go over to someone's house and you get to see someone. There's something like that, that'd be cool. Or people stop by through Tennessee, you come on over, hang out for a little bit. I got a couch over in the corner.
I mean, I hope you do, because it's such a trip.
Yeah.
To walk into someone's, like, I guess you would say personal space.
Yeah, right. Creative zone kind of thing.
Right? Because it is, right? This is something that you kind of flaunt, but you don't, right? But like a lot of us like to watch each other's, content or whatever, or streams, and you grown accustomed to what's in my background, but you don't have the opportunity to really dive into it unless I show you with a physical camera. But like I had like Brent and Holly sit. I've never shown the footage yet because I'm just gonna save it. I tend to do a lot of saving the footage, but like they sat here and they looked at my exact camera and they said whatever they wanted to say with exact lighting. But when I turn on that camera, they're like eyes just like, oh. I'm like I'm in your place.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm sitting in this exact screenshot, in the quality or the lighting or the sound that it would come off normally. So I haven't been able to do that. I think I'm gonna try to make that a thing every time I go to someone's spot, is to try to look and sound like them and whatever filming. I think that'll be fun.
Dude, like a whole new like Reels idea.
Yeah, I mean,
travel the world, travel the content.
I mean, pretty cool. Like, again, it's there's one thing to go inside someone's room and like look at your safe place pretty much, and then you get into content mode and you're like, whoa. So I say if you have the opportunity to do it, I would highly recommend it. And nothing beats like meeting someone and talking your nerddom to them, like back and forth. Like it's a really, really cool thing. Same thing that goes in like my other passions in life. So like my motorcycle club, the Marine Corps and stuff like that. Like I can go on to days talking whatever it is to those types of people.
Yeah.
So Lego though is another passion. So that I love talking about to any random person that would stop me anywhere.
Yeah.
Or if I find out if you like Lego or not. That's just, oh, hey, you like Lego?
Right. Oh, what's your favorite theme? What's your favorite
exactly.
set? The whole 9 yards. When did you get into it? Let's see here before we go on to our next topic. Gene's version. Shy. What's up, Gene? How's it going? Let's see here. Brant's Bricks. What's up, bro? Let's see here. Rex Riz. What's up, man? He says you didn't know you were a Swiftie.
No one does. I mean, it's not like I flaunt it. I mean, to be honest, like I got into Taylor Swift through a Texan Marine friend, like a brother of mine in Afghanistan. Like we listened to like hip hop and hardcore rap throughout the entire deployment. And then he will come out with his guitar and just start singing songs. I'm like, oh, that sounds cute. But it'll make me like happy because I'm not thinking about negativity and I'm not like, I use Taylor Swift when I ride my motorcycle. That sounds so wrong. I listen to Taylor Swift when I ride my motorcycle because she prevents me from hurting people or getting into road rage. You know how it is in SoCal. Like drivers here don't know how to drive. Dude, so just imagine me on a bike. So I noticed that the music that I listen to while I ride impacts how I ride. So if I'm listening to dubstep and I'm on a street bike, I'm doing wheelies everywhere. I'm going 120 miles an hour on the streets. So if I'm listening to like heavy metal or rock or like hardcore rap, if you cut me off, I might do something to your car. But if I'm listening to Taylor Swift, I'm more like zoned into what she's talking about and the melody behind it that I'll just go ahead.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
Taylor Swift is type of music. No shade.
No, right. No, my girlfriend is a huge Swiftie. And so like my sister was kind of, and I'm more of her OG favorite of like the country style. Cause I don't know. I just kind of resonate with that more. I can't follow the like loud poppy music kind of sometimes, and because it all start like country music, I guess you could say, it all starts sounding the same in different ways. But yeah,
That's fair. That's fair. No, but
yeah,
Taylor Swift rules. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm a Taylor Swift fan. I'm not
How do
ashamed
you
of
feel
it.
about John
Okay,
Mayer? How do you feel about John Mayer?
eh, he's in the past.
Right,
He's
dude,
in the
it's funny.
past.
We actually just went
Only had
to
like
one
one
of
song.
his
So good.
right concert like down here in Atlanta, and he's been around for so long, man, that people my parents' age
Good one too.
all the way to like 12 years old was there. And I'm just like, what the heck, man? It's pretty
I
cool. Like he's been around for that long, but it's like, whoa, it's
I
wild.
mean, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been so okay. So I've been to a couple concerts in the past like 5 years,
Mhm.
and it's funny to see the demographic behind people who are like watching it, right? So like,
Yeah.
I remember going to Justin Timberlake's last album concert
Mhm.
at the Forum, and it was very personal, just like how Taylor Swift's eras. I mean, I guess they're all doing it now, where like the stage goes all the way to the middle. His was
Oh
like an
yeah.
oval in the middle, so like we were in the back oval, but like we were right literally in front of the stage, and he would come a lot to and like in front of us and just start dancing in front of us, and my wife and I were freaking out. But that's not what I was talking about. So what I meant to talk about was like the people that are around us. Like you look at the age demographic, it's like a bunch of millennials, right?
Yeah.
And then you'll have like occasionally have like a little girl or little boy or whatever brought, that came attended the thing with their mom or dad. And
Yeah.
it's just like, oh dude, like when I was at the Justin Timberlake concert, it felt like I felt like my parents at like Woodstock or something like that. Like, like I felt this definitely felt like an older demographic. And then when I go to like a Taylor Swift concert, yeah, there was definitely a demographic there that I did not fit in appearance, right?
Yeah.
So, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I like the music that I listen to, and I'm not ashamed of it.
Right. Same. I feel you. I feel you.
Chiefs, good one.
Say, True Scribe says, "What's up? What's up? How's it going, man?" Let's see. John Mayer. Karma's the guy on the Chiefs.
Yeah, it's a famous line from this past two concerts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Super cute. I hope that relationship lasts.
Yeah.
I mean,
Otherwise,
it's a high school like rom-com right now.
right?
Yeah, the star football player with the cheerleader, and I'm thinking like you belong with me right now, but like, but it's really what it is. That's what it feels like, and like, not to say that she shouldn't be dating a British guy, but she's back to dating an American dude.
Yeah.
So, hey.
So, what do you think the breakup song is going to be called if they
I'm not
break up?
gonna I'm not gonna put that in the air because I don't want them to break up.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see like Taylor like do something like get married or something and change up like the way the music's gonna go. I mean I don't foresee it like that relationship ending anytime soon. If it does, it does, and she'll have like 5 more songs to it.
Yeah.
But based on the relationship before, I think she wants something more. So we'll see.
Oh, I love this right here. Now they need to make a Hallmark movie for T Swift and Kelsey.
If they get married, that's definitely happening.
Yo, yes, 100%. There's got to be a whole documentary, a whole movie. I think that'd be pretty great. I would go to the theaters to see that. That would be.
I mean, I would go to I wanted to go to theater for the Eras thing, but I already saw it in person. So.
Oh, true.
No, because I wanted to go because my daughter really wants to like. She really loves Taylor Swift for being a 4-year-old. And like obviously I was gonna take her to the concert because I don't think she'll be able to hang for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
But she really wants to see the see it in theaters, but like it was just too hard to be able to get 1 tickets and 2 find a time that would be convenient for us to go.
Yeah.
But maybe it'll come out like on a streaming platform. I'm sure it will.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I wonder who will do it. Maybe Disney or somebody, or be kind of interesting. But
yeah, Reputation was on Disney, I think.
Yeah, I think it was. Just
I guess
on
I guess it just depends on who's going to be able to afford it. Because goddamn.
yeah, that's a price, but it would bring a lot of people in though. It would do well for that price. But just on the topic of concerts, like, do you have your favorite concert that you've ever been to?
One of my most memorable ones would be NSYNC.
NSYNC, yeah,
yeah, because back in 2001, my dance team had to fundraise for a dance team.
Yeah.
And like we had to sell popcorn at the Rose Bowl, and that's where NSYNC was performing. So we got to see NSYNC for free. And it was
Yeah.
cool because I didn't work. I just like pretended like I was working. I kind of just gave away everything and just kind of stood in the front and just watched the whole concert from the side. So
Yeah.
I think that would be my most memorable one. But I don't know, there was just a lot. I guess overall experience and fun, I think would be Coachella, like
Mm.
2018, 19, whenever it was Beyonce as a headliner for Saturday, the
Oh
weekend for
yeah.
Friday, and Eminem on Sunday. Like a lot of my wife's and I's like favorite artists were performing, like Miguel Black, Post Malone was there, and like Khalid was like wasn't really featured on the list, but he wasn't featured with by every artist that was on there. Ariana Grande was there.
Yeah.
SZA, like everybody was there, and it was really overstimulating for
Yeah.
being for being at Coachella, but it was, it was probably one of the last times like my wife and I really had some time to ourselves to party.
Mm.
Now we're just too tired to party. So I think that would be that, and Justin Timberlake being in front of us. Like I know a lot of his dances because I tried to figure out his choreography in high school and all that kind of stuff. So watching him perform, like, Cry Me River, like I Love You, like literally right in front of me.
Yeah.
Like on my personal Insta, like I have like one of those shared stories that it just, of that, just that was memorable in itself. And then obviously Taylor Swift, that was intense. I've never been to a concert like that before in my life.
Yeah. I can imagine. That's like, has she broken the record like for biggest concert, or was that
she's a billionaire right now?
No. I mean like biggest concert venue, or is there someone else who has that record? Because, dude,
I mean Michael Jackson. That's one. I mean, like, I think she's like way past how much money that could be made. I mean, there's a lot of places that she would want to go to that she can't perform at because of they have to be able to. For example, the Philippines, right? The Philippines will love to have Taylor Swift. There's a lot of Taylor Swift fans in the Philippines, but they can't have an Eras Tour concert there because they don't have a stadium big enough to be able to host a show.
Right.
So, like that's the kind of like the requirements that they have to have a stadium big enough to be able to do what she wants, and to make it worth doing. So I don't know. I Beyonce, she has some pretty big, performances. But no, I don't think to that scale. It's been a minute. I think Michael Jackson was probably the last one that was so iconic and memorable. I mean, if you we're not counting like Queen and like the
well, not like a festival kind of,
not like a festival type of thing. I'm talking about like a solo artist on their own. I mean, I don't think any of the pop sensations of the 2000s and late 90s even remotely came close to what Taylor Swift is doing right now.
No. Oh, Garth Brooks.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah, I remember speaking of Coachella, like, because do you remember the Cabazon outlets ever driving out there, like right before you hit Palm Springs? Okay, so I used to work there, dude. During it did, dude. It did. Oh my gosh, yeah. I was like a supervisor for Rip Curl there, and dude, oh my gosh, especially during Coachella, that was ridiculous. And even the people that live behind us, behind the store, just right behind the parking lot, literally, their houses would be all for rent. And so it was mad. Black Friday was crazy. That was first time ever working like all night long. That was wild.
It's also retail. So
yeah, exactly. But how did you feel about, like, speaking of retail now, I guess, like working at the Lego store? Like, is that something you would like maybe when you retire, would you do that again? Or like, heck no, like I'm never doing this again?
So, okay. So retail in general, I did for a very long time. Like I did it, at the end parts of my Marine Corps while I was in college. And then I was like, I was already here. I'm already elevated. I make a lot of money. Might as well stick with it. Right. So I started with Urban Outfitters. I was with them for a very long time. Lego pulls me out and then they turn me. And then my retail days were done, which I'm happy. I'm actually happy that I'm no longer doing retail.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. Like I liked being on my feet. Like I don't like sitting down at a computer all day. I like communicating, talking to people. Like, I enjoyed communication. Like I like face-to-face contact and having a
Yeah.
conversation with random people. That's the reason why I like having the the podcast, whether it be
Yeah,
Cali
definitely.
or Soup. Like this, like you and I speaking, like not necessarily face to face, but face to face via screen. Like
Right.
I enjoy this.
Same.
So in that context, I had a blast.
Yeah.
Yes, there was like pains as far as like Black Friday, all of holiday in general, and then
Yeah.
horrible customers. I mean, I've had some horrible customers in my day, like people robbing,
Yep.
being physical, abusive and all kind of stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of that. But like I would equate the Marine Corps where 90% of my time was just crap and 10% was amazing. The 10% outweighing the 90% all day, every day, well, which I'll do all over again just to do. Retail's not that intense as far as this all sucks, but it has its moments for me to be like, I kind of miss it.
Yeah.
So the Lego store is a whole different story. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I could rant for days on how like they don't like. I don't know if it's like an old way of thinking in retail, but technology, innovation, it's just not something that like they're very. This is how you do it. We want yes men.
Yeah.
That was pretty much that. Not to say that you should, that you shouldn't work for Lego or anything like that. That's what you want to do, go for it. But that it kind of like if Lego never turned me, I would have never left retail. And I'm kind of partially happy that it happened. I mean, I still have a gripe with it, but I felt like it should have been on my own terms.
Yeah. Yeah.
Versus their terms.
Right.
But I'm like I said, I've never been termed before in my life. Like I've exceeded in all my work that I've done in my life to every single career choice. So it was I guess it's good to get termed by an employer one day, right? It's a good. My dad said like, hey, everyone needs to get fired at least once.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
So it did humble me a little bit. So
Yeah.
which I feel like I needed regardless.
Yeah, no, I feel there's nothing like.
Thanks, Gene.
Yeah, right. I have to 100% agree. We were actually just talking about this before we started, and he finally gave me the cheat code to life so I can start using my good camera.
He has a camera just like mine. He's not using it. He just needs a video card. You sound great. You can look amazing right now. Not to say you don't right now.
Hey, we got blue lights going on, man.
You got blue lights. You're fine. Just turn on the camera and you look good. But no, it's fine. I'm just messing.
Right. But yeah, yeah. There's nothing like getting fired from the boss, man. You get that one call. Well, like we were going because I work construction, and so we were building docks down the river, and business was getting really slow, and I kind of like had a hunch. I'm like, or hunch. There we go. And I was like, why am I like? They're like, oh, you don't need to come in today. And come in tomorrow and the whole 9 yards. And all of a sudden I get a phone call from the boss at 10 o'clock in the morning and he's driving. I'm like, that's never good. Never good. And of course he lays me off and whatever, but it opens up routes of new opportunity. And now I work building framing for a tiny home community or tiny house company. And it is the best thing ever. It's like the first, I told them like straight up, it was the first time in a year that I actually felt, like appreciated. And I wanted to start like doing Lego beforehand, but like just that constant negativity, like I started pushing my Legos away and just hiding them. And then I don't know what switched and that happened. And now I'm like, let's just talk to everybody. I have like 33 employees that I work with or coworkers, and it's just awesome. And it's something about like, even though it can be sucky and hurt you and kick you down, it's like that switch, man. It feels good. It feels really good.
I mean, people generally are happy. Like if you're happy at your job, no matter what it is, generally it comes from the peers that you're working with, right? I mean, and the flexibility to work-life balance. But if you have that, your life is gold. Like right now, I'm like, just like you right now, I am the most happiest I've ever been in my work life. Because I've never had a work-life balance. Like even when I was in retail, I mean, I was running the show. So I was always at my stores. Like I was always working. Like, And then when I got terminated, I worked for the post office for a little bit in between, figuring out what I was going to do in my life. And they abused the crap out of me, like because I worked. I remember my first few weeks. They're like the older carriers will be like, "Hey, Shy, calm down."
Mm.
I'm like, "Why?" They're like, "No, calm down. You're working too hard. They're gonna abuse the crap out of you." And I'm like,
Mm.
"All right, whatever." I ignored it, and they did. Like I worked from like 5 in the morning until like 7 o'clock in the evening every day,
Yeah.
like literally for 15 days in a row. And it really started to wear on my mental health. Like that was when my daughter was born, so like she didn't know who I was, so that started
Yeah.
impacting me for a little bit. And then at the end of it, I'm like, I started becoming belligerent, which kind of made the carriers in my office like, "Oh, we want him. He needs to be our
Mm.
union rep. Like he does not give a crap." But that was my first I quit happy story. Like I was the happiest I've ever been in quitting, and like I didn't know what I was gonna do, but whatever,
Yeah.
I'm happy. I get freedom, time to myself, and then I landed, the current job role that I have right now, which is related to what I do with my degree, and like I'm just I have a work-life balance. My team is amazing. I have time to do this.
Yeah.
I have time with my family, which is the most important thing. I get to work from home most of the time,
Oh, that's
which is
nice.
like a hit or miss when you're raising kids because oh my gosh, it's distracting. But you know, I can find ways to like grow in areas where I can grow.
Mm.
Right now, it's just trying to figure out time to do all the things that I want to do because I feel like I've been giving so much time. I started giving more to my work, like my actual work, because I'm
Mm.
like, okay, you guys are giving me all this freedom. Let me give you more of myself. So I want to, kind of elevate a little bit and just kind of give back, which has been taking up a little more of my time than I want to. Like, for example, my motorcycle club, like it's been a minute since I've given them 100% of my time. Like it's always been, on the back burner after I got terminated from Lego. Like after I got terminated from Lego, like me and my club has been like up and down.
Mm.
But right now, my goal in life is to like kind of hunker down with my club and get it back to its glory days.
Yeah.
Because it's that's Lego, although these videos will be on here forever until YouTube comes down, like literally shuts down, if it ever does. Hopefully, fingers crossed doesn't.
Right.
Um, my legacy is my club. Like I
Yeah.
started that with a couple brothers, and like if that's gonna be like founder blah blah Shy, that's what's gonna go in history books. I
Yeah.
don't think I'm going to be remembered in the Lego community after I disappear because I've seen it happen a lot in this. Like I see creators disappear, and then in 2 years, people forget who they are.
Mm.
Like, do you know who Kevin Hinkle is?
No, it sounds very. I was like, okay, so just hearing the word Hinkle, I don't know why, but that sounds familiar. But if I was like, if you gave me like 15 people to pick from and it all had the same name with like a different look, I probably wouldn't be able to. So no.
Kevin Hinkle was a community manager for Lego. Like he started as like a brick specialist, went
Mm.
all the way up to store manager, worked for Lego corporate as a brand I don't know what his proper term, community manager. And then he went to marketing.
Mm.
He got betrayed hard by Lego, which is sad. He got termed during the first purge when
Mm.
Lego wasn't making any money. They had like so back in around the time when the last Bionicle was releasing, right after the Lego movies have both been released, they were doing so well in sales, and then when he was in the marketing team, they were doing so well in sales that they weren't able to keep up with stocking shelves for like Target and Walmart, and they have a contract with ensuring that they have enough inventory to
Oh,
keep
yeah.
those. So for a year, the marketing team was told not to market the product,
Right.
right? And that's one of the reasons why Bionicle, the latest one, didn't do so well because they weren't allowed to market it. So
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons why Bionicle hasn't come back, and people keep forgetting about that. But after that year, their profits dropped like 2%,
Yeah.
and Lego freaked out. So they turned to like 2,000 employees, and he was one of them. And then
Jeez.
but still though, he still loved Lego. He was still loved the community. He was still around. He was working for like Brick Fair and all the other convention stuff like that. And
Mhm.
then Lego found out that he did like a little podcast about his whole life in Lego, like starting from beginning to end. And he
Mm.
was airing stuff that probably shouldn't have been aired, but was really intriguing to listen to because you get the backwards workings of how Lego functions. and
Yeah.
he was getting warnings by colleagues like, "Hey, you need to stop."
Mm.
And he didn't. So he used to do these things, like he used to do Lego drawings for people and himself. So
Mm.
Lego Legal went after him for that, which is kind of shicey because a lot of people do that, but they went after him specifically, cease and
Yeah.
desist and all this illegal mumbo jumbo. And then he just gave up. He sold all of his Lego, left the community, doesn't want to do anything with Lego whatsoever. And that's like that's like the tragic story of Kevin Hinkle.
Yeah.
Shout out to him if he's, I know he's going through some stuff right now. So thoughts are with you, bro.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah, I mean, he really, I know now their team does watch content, but they didn't watch it like he did. Like he
Yeah.
literally would work out and just watch everyone what they had to say. And
Right.
he would comb through everything. So he knew exactly where everybody was. He knew what the fans liked. He's the reason why Ninjago lived, because
Mm.
he accidentally said that Ninjago was ending at a convention, and then people freaked out. So they continued Ninjago. So he's a savior of Ninjago.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This is a little homage to him right now because I'm thinking about him. But
Yeah.
yeah. So the space is it's fleeting. Like you can disappear quickly and be forgotten about. So my club, though, I don't want that to be forgotten about.
Right.
So I know a lot of people come in and out of it. Some of the guys in my club like going on to bigger, better things, bigger clubs. But the memory is still there, and it's like etched in our biker history. So my
Right.
goal is to make that continue way past my time of writing.
Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha. I'm actually kind of curious to talk about the club, but we got Brick Hive. He says, "What's up? What's popping, buddy?" Want to say a shout
Freckle,
out to him.
It's a freckle.
Oh yeah. I was wondering because I like looked off for a second and I just see
Yeah.
but yeah, so I'm not gonna act like I know much about motorcycles, but it is a very big interest of mine to get an old Honda CB like from 1978 and restore it
Cool.
and
Yeah.
travel and live that nomad life. But honestly, like I just really like the look of it, and especially getting one that's like $300. It's basically just the body and rebuild it all, put all new parts in it, and learn that because like I like to do a lot of auto mechanic stuff, and so I fixed my car up, even though it's still, that's a whole nother story. But that's something I want, and I have a very big interest in. So just hearing your story would be very interesting for me to hear, especially and like because you are one of the founder or the founder of your club, to be exact.
I'm one of 7 that founded the club, but I was like
Okay.
I was the brain of it in the beginning.
Gotcha.
So
yeah, if you want to kind of tell that story.
I mean, I can't really discuss a lot of that since
Sure.
it's in this kind of platform, but I can
Right.
I'll say what I can say.
Yeah.
That you can look up anywhere. So we started back in 2010. Just the 7 of us, and then there was 13 of us at the time. When we started really getting our wheels to the ground. And back then it was very simple. It was just riding around to go get food or go riding in the canyons. And we started a street bike club. And then as you get bigger, there are protocols that you're supposed to do as a motorcycle club. And, some of them we obeyed and some we didn't. And, for a long time, it wasn't easy. I can say that it wasn't fun. My brother's saying that it's a young man's game. But artwork was done by Shy. Yeah, I am the artwork head on that one. But the motorcycle world is its own world. Like they have their own rules, their own way of life, and it's just like I would equate it to the military. Like we have our own way of life. It's its own entity. It's outside of the rules of society. So nowadays that's kind of hard to do with people's cameras all over the phone and being able to be recording everything. And how expensive the life is that you have to have a job and stuff like that to be able to maintain a Harley Davidson. But it started simple, and now it is as complicated as ever, just because we're known, we're hated, we're respected, depending on who you want to ask. So I can't talk about a lot of it.
Yeah, sure. I totally understand that.
Yeah, so we are, our relationship with law enforcement is here or there, or like it's our relationship with other clubs is here or there. So yeah, there's not a lot. Google it and you'll see what pops up.
Yeah.
Some of them we're not too proud of. So some of it we are. Like, a lot of the good things that we do aren't really shared,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
you might see some bad things out there. So sorry about that. But for the most part, in the most simplest of forms, this is a bunch of dudes really just riding together on motorcycles, just kicking it kicking it as much as
Yeah.
they can together. And as the time progresses, it gets harder, especially when you start having kids. You're more focused on your own families or your own careers and stuff like that. So the simple times of just meeting up to go ride, it becomes a chore.
Yeah.
So you have to figure out ways to light the fire in like people. So that's always been like my mind, like how do I keep it going. And like
Yeah.
family is what we are. Like we are a family. We generally do care about each other outside of the bike. Like it's not like you can't just join our family easily. Like you can't just show up and be like, I want to be in your club. Like that's not how it works. Like there's
Yeah.
a whole lengthy process before you even don a piece of what we look like. So we have to know who you are. We need to know what you do for a living. We need to trust you. We need to know your family. We need to know what kind of bike you ride and how well you ride it. Like it's like because we ride side by side, nut to butt. So like, if I can't trust you behind me, you're gonna crash into me, or if I can't trust you in front of me, I'm gonna crash into you. So it's a lot of trust, and it's I guess people like to think of the whole motorcycle club world as like it's freedom, right? You're
Mm.
social outlaws, but it's not. It's not
Yeah.
freedom. If true freedom is just not being in a club whatsoever, it's riding by yourself. But at least there are times when I do like to ride by myself, but it's no one can live like that. Like you can't live on your own by yourself forever. Like you're not going to live as long. You need people to watch your back. You need people to pick you up when you fall down. Like you're on two wheels, you're gonna fall.
Yeah.
Those bikes are heavy, and you need someone to pick you up. And
Definitely.
that was definitely a metaphor. That wasn't. I
Yeah.
wasn't just talking about literally picking up a motorcycle by yourself. There are a lot of times when I'm going through stuff, and there are a lot of times when my brothers are going through stuff too. A lot of them are veterans
Yeah.
who've seen some stuff in their lives. So
Yeah.
the motorcycle is what brings us together. Just like Lego and the brick are what bring a lot of people here together.
Right.
So just with the club, there's more of an obligatory like response as opposed to like here when people can just forget about you.
Yeah. No, I
Hey,
feel
look
you.
at it. Sorry.
Oh yeah, there it is. Brickmaster Harry, a little plug for him. First time on stream. Shy, you need to make it out to Bam Irvine for the next AFOL night.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw your little was it a reel or a video that of that, and looked like it was a good time.
Yeah. That's I wish so okay, I guess I'll say the town that I'm in. I'm in Chattanooga. And I remember I reached out to you like about lugs and stuff. And I just thought it was awesome that like you actually went out of your way to like search up something for me because I was like, I am lost. And what sucked was I went and applied, but they're only in Alabama and then up in Knoxville. So it's 2 hours either
Oh,
way,
oh,
which
that's
I
not
was
bad.
like really, really considering it. And then like I started talking about like maybe opening them or starting it, I guess they call them chapters out in Chattanooga and stuff like that. But yeah, I wish they had a bricks and minifigures out here, man. We got
You know how many we have here now?
like 7.
Dude, we're about to get 2 more apparently, and I don't know if I'm allowed to disclose that. I'm happy because the 2 more are literally 2 minutes that way, 2
Yeah.
minutes that way. So I'm like, oh, it's right here. But because all the ones now in SoCal are still a ways. It takes me like an hour and a half to get through there, obviously, because I'm in the north part of downtown LA. I
Yeah.
have to go through downtown LA to get to them.
Yeah.
But there was Anaheim, right? When I'm sure when you were here, there was that was the only one, Anaheim and San Diego.
Mhm.
Now there's like Lomita, Irvine, Whittier.
Yep.
Like there's so, and I think another one, Temecula. So there's
Yeah.
so many.
There's a ton. There's a ton. I kind of hope because I'm gonna be out there next week, and so I'm kind of hoping maybe I'll stop by one, or I might just be spending my entire time shipping all my Legos out
I
from
mean, that sounds like a
California.
task enough to do
Yeah,
on its own, man. I don't
it's
know what that feels
ridiculous.
like. I don't know what that's like yet to move Lego from one place to another as like a whole. Like I have no idea. I mean, I moved when we redid our flooring. I had to take out everything from this office, but it was
Mm,
nothing in comparison to what I have now. So we have
yeah,
to redo our windows. So I do have to like move stuff, which
right.
I'm not looking forward to.
No,
But to move it across country, that's That's some craziness right there.
I'll say the easiest things are minifigures and just start a whole new collection. This
Right.
is almost like all brand new parts. Because I guess, okay, so we do have a store. I guess you could call it's called McKay's, and it's like a not like a thrift store, but a resale store. And people just give out their Legos through that there, but they also
Mhm.
mix them in with like Mega Blocks and a whole nother. So you can go through all the bins, and every minifigure is $5. And
Yeah.
so you can find some real bangers that are like 15-20 dollars sometimes,
Mhm.
and it's actually pretty successful. But other than that, I kind of miss having that community. And I don't know, I guess talking about lugs, I guess you could say, is the hardest part is doing them in person all the time. That like kind of starting the show is like a lug to me in a sense, because like I can actually sit down a couple times a week and actually talk to people about Lego and the hobby. And then but my bed's just right over in the other room. I can go lay
You
down
just lay down.
or go do something else and or
So
go to
what you're
work.
telling me is that you're lazy.
Yes. I mean, working construction from
I get it.
6:45
Wanna
till 5 or 6 in the evening, it's like I just want to lay down after a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's I don't know.
It's a commitment. Joining a lug is a commitment. Like it's and that's what like going back to a motorcycle club type of deal. It's a commitment. You join here, you need to commit to it, and
Yeah,
sometimes you need to be reminded about it. A lug, I guess, would be a similar thing. Like Lego users group, like there's monthly meetings that you have to attend or events that you need to participate in, and not just reap the benefits of what you can get out of the lug. I mean,
right.
I don't have time for a lug. There's no way. There's like another one that just opened up in Long Beach. I don't have that type of time, even if they
Yeah.
invited me. Like, but like going back to the, at least you have the bricks and minifigs. Like the thing is with the Lego store, it doesn't feel community based because it's just like it's just a regular Lego store. You have your regular that you'll see all the time, but
Yeah.
you don't have a general fandom that you'll always be there. Whereas in a bricks and minifigs or a second, third party Lego store, like you have diehard fans that know of the existence of something like that, how much the stuff is worth and the fandom behind it. Like it's easy to have a conversation with someone inside of bricks and minifigs versus like a Lego store.
Yeah. No, totally. Totally. I agree, because it's kind of funny. Like they I will say they have started to get a little bit better, because like you'll get three pab cups and they're like, "Oh, are you building your own creation?" Uh Yeah, I do stuff on social media and stuff, and I like to build. Oh, no way. What is your like? It's like almost like they have like set lines now, like because they're trying to branch out, kind of thing.
I mean, they do have set lines when they
Oh,
speak. Yeah, no, they do. There's a way you approach customers in the Lego conversation
yeah.
when someone talks to you if they don't know who you are. Whereas in
Mhm.
BAM, they're all different. They don't have something like that. At least the ones I know of, where they have to speak to you a certain way. But
Yeah.
they could generally just be themselves, which is the best part about it. Like, and that's why I like going to. Like I tell people like when they want to open up bricks and minifigs, I'm like, why? Why don't you just open up your own thing? Like, why do you need
Yeah.
that marketing? Um, but I digress. I was gonna go into another tangent, but like I like going into those stores because there is like a an overall understanding of what we're doing here.
Yeah.
So as opposed to going to a Lego store, you can say something and there's a risk of the Lego employee not knowing anything about what you're
Yeah.
talking about. Because
Exactly.
generally they don't hire too many AFOLs. So the people that are working there are just literally just working a retail job versus at a bricks and minifigs, they need to know the set that you're bringing in so they can price it out correctly.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Like
So
they kind of get more like specialist, like appraisers kind of
mhm.
vibe kind of thing, which is cool. Like I guess the closest one that I have something to that is the Atlanta Brick Co. That's still like
Yeah,
a,
you
a
have that.
2 hour drive, which is cool. And have you been to that one yet at
I
all?
haven't been there, no.
It's
I've
pretty
only been to
cool.
this. Yeah, I've only been to the South like once in my life.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. It's funny going there. I thought it would be bigger from the outside, like going in, but on their social media, it looks smaller than it is in person, which I feel like that's probably an
Do you feel
obvious
like
thing.
it's just like because it's filled with Lego?
It's literally filled to the brim with solid Lego. Like the amount of stacking that they have. Like you turn a corner and there's like it's like almost walking into like another Lego store. It feels like, because it's so jam packed, but they have it all organized, which is cool. So like each room is like, this is all city. This is all Nexo Nights. This is all Star Wars. Well, Star Wars has like nearly 2 rooms, like Ninjago, but they also feature a lot of people's mocks there and stuff like that. So when like the Mandalorian was big, they had that. I forget who did it a long time ago, but like where the Din Djarin was like touching Grogu with his finger, like out in the desert, and then they got ambushed, kind of thing. And so it was that, and so it was pretty cool. Like see things on Instagram, and then they're there. So it's kind of cool. It's like a little convention, even though it's not a convention at all. but yeah.
Sorry, we got a question in chat.
Let's see here. This one you're talking about? Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is better for first time convention, Brickworld, Chicago, or Virginia?
I mean, I can't speak to Virginia because I've never been to that one. I could be biased and say Chicago. Only reason why I'm going to say Chicago is because the hotel's better. It's right there. And Virginia does have a hotel too, but it's like it's dated and it's across a, there's really nothing there aside from like a Chick-fil-A and a few other things.
Right.
I feel like Chicago more people go to as far as the creator is concerned. So if you want to meet everyone, that would be your best opportunity. Would be at Brickworld Chicago. They're both big. I know the yard sale for Virginia is way better if you care about such things, but like Chicago, dude, just everyone's there. Like it was always big, but I feel like the past post-COVID times it blew up, and it's only gonna grow exponentially because so it's word of mouth. Like conventions really grow with word of mouth. It's not necessarily like is it always gonna be big, because you never know. Like maybe in 2 years Chicago might be a dud. Yeah. Because everyone decided to go to, let's say Atlanta, that one instead, or they want to go to Cascade. So if all the content creators started going to Cascade, they start creating content, no matter it's TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube. That creates the FOMO of, I want to go next year.
Yeah,
which is which is what these conventions fail to understand sometimes, is like you're big because people are sharing this experience, and it's not just the Beyond the Brick videos of like showing off mocks. That's cool and all, but what makes people want to go are like the vlogs, the collabs, seeing the behind the scenes of the activities that you can do with each other. That's what makes a convention like go big, because I had some serious FOMO with Atlanta. I don't get that from Virginia a lot. Virginia just feels like a bunch of kids. Chicago definitely feels more like overall like everybody's there, like as far as age, as far as mocks, as far as creators, as far as the Lego Masters, and there's just stuff to do there. So you have all of Chicago. I mean, it is in Schaumburg, so it's a little bit away from the city, but there are things to do. So I always tell people to go to Chicago versus Virginia, but again, I'm being biased because I've never been to Virginia.
Gotcha. Just wanted me to. I'm the same. So I've never been to convention either, and I've been persuaded and convinced by a few other creators as well to go to Chicago. So I never remember what the month is, but I planning on going. I'm gonna start booking everything, because don't they come out tomorrow?
Tomorrow, tickets go live.
Tickets go on sale tomorrow. Do you remember what time?
No, just keep it. I mean, they're not going to sell out, I promise you.
Yeah.
They'll be up for a minute. They'll try to gain every, because they need the money, so they'll try to get it as long as possible. I just wouldn't wait till like the day of to try to get VIP tickets. But so for conventions are concerned, like I will tell people to go to a convention to where your friends are going. So if you have a set group of friends within the Lego space or whatever, and they all decide to go to this one small convention, go to that small convention over Chicago. Like if they're not going to Chicago or they're not going to Virginia, it might not be as fun. You could still, depending on how you are interacting with people, right? Are you outgoing? Are you more reserved? Are you going to go up to these people that are out there like wandering around having a blast, or are you going to be more reserved and kind of laid back? If you don't know anybody, if your friends all go to a small convention, you can have the best time of your life because all your friends are there. You're talking about your life. You're talking about Lego, more of your life than Lego, and you're doing all these activities together. While being in this convention. I will say Chicago and Virginia, more so Chicago. You might not have time for everyone. because there's just so many people. There's so many things going on. Your conversations with, like, hey, if you and I meet, I mean, technically we should meet here because we're in SoCal, but like if you and I meet, we probably might have a 5-minute conversation and that'll be it. Like I won't see you the rest of the time because you're gonna be talking to all these other people. Like, Drew, we might have a 5-minute conversation and I won't see you the rest of the convention just because you're gonna be, it's so massive. So I always recommend people to go with wherever their friends are going. So if they're all going to Chicago, you're all going to Chicago.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much the VIP. No, I don't think they're that expensive. They're like
in the $20 range, right? Because the
no, they're more than that.
Oh,
the VIP
really?
tickets are like 100 something. That's usually what they are. For most conventions, they're about almost $100.
Gotcha. So no, you're not
gonna. If she's down, so 2 years ago, I brought my entire family because we made a road trip. We went to World War Brick, which is the Brickmania convention the weekend before, and then we drove from Milwaukee down to not Milwaukee, Minnesota, Minneapolis to Milwaukee because I had to visit Harley Mecca. I was right there.
Yeah.
So Milwaukee down to Chicago, and we made a family trip. It was really hard to balance being a father and being around everybody, right? Because I wanted to be around everybody. Last year, my wife was just like, I want to come too, not just because I want to hang out with you guys. I just want to be, you don't get to be away from the kids, and I don't either. So my wife came last year. She didn't really like hang out. She kind of did her own thing. So,
yeah.
I mean, your lady's kind of into it, right? So, like, if she's down, then yeah, bring. Like, I've seen a lot of spouses come and enjoy and have a good time too. It kind of shows off why you love this.
Yeah.
So it's a good eye opener. It's just really, really intense.
Yeah. Yeah, I could imagine so. Well, I know we're a little over the hour, but I just want to say thank you to you, Shy, and hopefully in the future we'll have you back on a second time here. Definitely be cool. Talk about more stuff because there's plenty more questions. I always have a notepad. There you go, guys. A little behind the scenes, but I just want to say thank you to you. Is there anything you would like to say in the last few minutes? Anything you'd like to plug if you want?
Thanks for having me on here. I love this is what I live for in the Lego space, is having these types of conversations. So thank you for allowing me to enjoy why I'm in this community.
Of course.
As far as plugging, just Shytime my time everywhere. It's fine. Look up Sitting on a Stoop.
Yeah. Is that what is that on? Is that on Spotify too, or just YouTube?
It's on YouTube, Spotify, everywhere where you find podcasts. There's only 2 episodes. You can listen to both of them in like 2 hours.
Heck yeah. Well, thank you again. Thank you to all the viewers and the replay gang. Make sure you guys like this video. I guess I never say like this thing, and it's probably something I should say because I don't know. Someone said like, most people just forget to like things, and it's just like, because YouTube is like big lurk kind of thing, and so liking, I always think liking is like Instagram or something like that, but I mean, it's cool,
a call to action helps with any type of content. So hey, if you're listening on Spotify right now, you can also comment down below. So
yeah, they have that whole poll. There's no questions, but put an answer in the poll and I'll read them. But yeah, thank you to all. If you guys want to see this live and you're listening on Spotify, come to Drew Bricks 212 on the YouTube and you'll find it there, and on Instagram. That's how you guys can find out where the next one is. But signing off. Thank you guys very much. Thank you to you, Shy. And I'll see you guys later.
Peace.